Hey, it's Tim. Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. For those of you that have been on the channel for a while, you know that at times I tend to get a little fired up about things. And this morning is one of those times. For whatever reason, I woke up in a really cranky mood. And my managing editor, Jill, and I were going back and forth on this news from Waymo and Daimler about the self-driving trucks. Yes, they're building self-driving semi-trucks. They're working on it, more technology. And it kind of got me, well, a little fired up. For those who don't know, I'm not a big proponent of autonomous driving because I like to drive. And I don't see the reasons behind it, and we're spending millions of dollars to build this technology. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But really, my issue with it is, well, the why. So I wrote a long article up on the website this morning, about 1,300 words, about an hour. I was fired up, typing like crazy. And I thought, for those of you at home who don't want to read the website or want me to tell you the story instead, I would do a video and explain to you my reasons for being a little fired up about autonomous driving with semi-trucks. Now, I understand the thought behind this is that we could have less accidents and save more lives if we have autonomous driving semi-trucks that ride in convoys, right, or do certain tasks. And at the same time that Daimler did their announcement, a company called Beep announced they're doing an autonomous shuttle in Yellowstone because apparently we're too much of dumbasses. We can't stop getting out of the car and messing with wildlife. Well, instead, we'll put you in an eco-friendly shuttle and drive you around the nature. So Waymo and Daimler are going to do this collaboration, and you may know Waymo from the fact that they've done some stuff with GM and stuff, autonomous shuttles and things like this. These technologies use a variety of sensors and radars and LiDAR and yada 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 to create an augmented reality of what's going on around you, and so that way it keeps you safe on the road by drawing a digital picture that the computer does process. Now I'm sitting here in my office looking at a foot of snow that just is starting to melt, and it creates that favorite time of year for folks, and it's a game we play on the roads when it's snowed over and ice called Am I Even in My Lane? Yes, it's a famous game we play in the Midwest and the northern states of just kind of picking a spot and driving it through the slush and through the snow and ice to try to get to the destination without ending up in the bar pit. Yeah, it's a really fun game. And so imagine that you're in a semi-truck with, what do you got, 30 tons of cargo, and you're using the radar and LiDAR and satellite and GPS to figure out if you're on the road or not, and you're barreling down the road at 40, 50, 80 miles an hour. Yeah, it just creates questions to me about safety over practicality. Now, looking at this, I think to myself, I'm sure those sensors will work when we have the roads done. But, you know, the world infrastructure of the United States is terrible. The roads are just awful. We have bridges that can't get rebuilt. We have roads with potholes. We have dirt roads. We have roads that have no signs. We have no road markers. I have a street outside. There is no sign anywhere. There's barely stop signs in town. They're all yield signs. We have to spend millions of dollars in infrastructure to get the signs up, to get the markers up for this LiDAR and these radar, not LiDAR, but radar to be able to pick up these lines. Yes. And these sensors are attached on the front and rear and also the side of vehicles, attached to a computer that goes into uses some cameras. It all works together in really snazzy technology that happens to fail for one big reason. Sensors don't like it when they get dirty, or get covered in snow, or get covered in ice, or get covered in mud, or get covered at all. Yes, it turns out that sensors can't see us through that crap. Neither can you. So clean your windshield. PSA. Anyways. These sensors don't see through the stuff, and so here's what's going to happen is we're going to come up with new technology to either heat up these sensors or cool them down, depending on the situation, what we need to get the mud off there. We need to heat it up and get them off from ice and all that kind of stuff. It's interesting, the 49X, which is Western Star's new truck, actually started working on this. They have headlights that heat up to get rid of the ice. Sensors do the same thing. That's what we're trying to get to. And so you'll have situations like the Jeep Gladiator. It's got a really cool little nozzle in the front, cute little nozzle. It sprays little water down from the windshield wiper fluid down on top of the camera in front. So when you're off-roading all day and you're getting mud and dust and dirt up there, you can push that button and water will come down and clean that camera for you so you can see the trail in front of you. And probably for most people, and more accurately, it's going to clean out the dust because you didn't wash your truck enough and you're trying to see how much closer you can pull into the Walmart parking lot. That's what those sensors really do. I had a Ram truck a couple years ago, and I couldn't back it up because all the sensors were going crazy because it had ice over it. So yes, this technology is coming. Fantastic. The thing that bothers me with technology is we're looking at the human fault of, well, driving. Yes, It turns out we all pretty much suck at driving. If you went back to your driver's ed course and took a refresher class And if I asked you how many times you broke the rules, you'd say 0, I drive fine. You don't. How many times do you pull up to a stop sign and actually stop behind the white mark? You don't. How many times do you make a left-hand turn in a 2-lane left-hand turn and stay in the far left-hand lane without kind of scooting over? You don't. I've seen it. You drive around town, drive around the big cities. Everybody cheats a little bit, especially these rural roads out here. We cheat all the time. Do you stop before the stop sign, or do you creep a little bit forward to see down the road so you can see what's coming at you? You cheat a little bit, don't you? I know you do. Well, here's the problem with all these self-driving technologies is that the computer doesn't cheat. The computer uses sensors to see what's going on with the cars coming down the road next to you. So it doesn't need to creep forward. It doesn't need to cheat at all. And that's created a lot of accidents. Yeah, if you look at Google's self-driving car, they've had a lot of accidents caused by the car hitting other cars that were breaking the rules. Yeah, it just get sideswiped all the time. And that's because they need to teach these cars how to cheat, because we all do it. So you have these issues about you're trying to fix human drivers who, well, we all cheat in different ways. You're trying to see through technology, through the environment, right? Use technology to beat Mother Nature. So tell me, when you go through a blizzard, where the heck the car's going to end up going? Because trust me, I don't know where I'm going at the time. You can tell me a computer's going to figure this out. Okay, fair enough. And then my biggest issue with all of this is you just pay more money. That's what all this means. You just pay more money. So if you look at, for example, let me show you this Ford package on the screen. Okay, I'm going to pick on Ford here, but they all do it. Every manufacturer does the same thing. So if I'm building a truck here, so I have a 2020 F-150, a crew cab, or super cab, I guess I've got it here, XLT, and I want to make sure that I have the gearing. I have the electronic locking rear axle with 355s. It's changed to 373 if I order a heavy-duty payload package. So I want the bigger gearing. I want to have the bigger rear axle. I want to have more capability. I also want the wiring harness to be able to tow something. I want the bigger fuel tank, engine oil cooler. I mean, these are things that I want, plus the Class 4 trailer hitch. Oh, I have to get the Pro Trailer Backup Assist. I don't have a choice. And this Pro Trailer Backup Assist is semi-autonomous driving. It's letting the vehicle drive for you and help you hook up your trailer. So you don't have a choice. You have to get it. And so when I do, oh, I can't go base engine either. No, I got to add the upgraded engine, which happens to a lot of people. And so I'm basically going to add $3,890 for a receiver hitch, a better rear axle, and semi-autonomous features that I don't freaking want. And if I go down and say I'm not going to do that, and all I want is a trailer tow package. So all I want is a 4-7-pin wiring harness. I want the auxiliary transmission oil cooler. Note to Toyota, this is a big deal. Engine oil cooler. I want the Class 4 trailer hitch receiver. Oh, look at there. The Pro Trailer Backup Assist is included as well. So there you go. Without doing anything more than I want to, I have to get this technology in my truck to help pay for the R&D for a feature that I may not even want or may not even ever use. Here's my other really big issue with it is if we're talking about safety, there's a really easy thing we can do. It's called wearing a seatbelt. As you can see from the stats on the screen, there's only 90.7% of us buckle up. And when we don't buckle up, we can see 47% of the passengers who were killed in vehicles didn't buckle up. So if you really want to save lives and make it more safe to drive, why are we focusing on all this technology when we're not even using what we already have? Yeah, that's right. That trailer backup assist, that's really a semi-autonomous driving feature that really is helping using the truck to back up for you. So that's going down the road of fully autonomous driving. It's one of those additional features. Look, this could be a death by 1,000 arrows. We're going to go through little semi-autonomous driving improvements, lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, trailer backup systems to get to fully autonomous. That's how this stuff's going to go. And so if you look at that package like I showed, you can't just get the max tow package. Oh, no. You have to get the backup assist too, because you got to pay for that R&D for a solution to a problem that you didn't have. You may be able to back up a trailer, that's fine, but guess what? You're paying for it. So if you want to know why these damn trucks got so expensive, it's because all this safety equipment has now become optional to let's stick it in a package to now it's like you have to buy it. You have no choice. And then you get companies like Ford and Toyota and Nissan, everybody does this. And they'll tout how much their consumers of their products buy those safety equipment and how much of a percentage of all their consumers end up with that safety equipment on their trucks. Like the stuff that you didn't want. But they'll tout that as saying, well, that's the future because 67% of our customers opt for that package. No, they don't. They opt for that package because they really want the mechanical gearing in the rear end. They really want the bigger leaf springs. They really want the better payload. They don't opt for that package because, oh my goodness, I'm going to get the trailer backup assist. They don't ask for that. They ask for, I want more capability for my truck, and I got to make sure to get max trailer towing package for that. But they have to slide that stuff in. So that's the thing. All this semi-autonomous stuff means that at some point, the American's going to move to the driver's passenger seat. So that's the thing. All this semi-autonomous stuff means we'll go to fully autonomous, which means Americans will now ride shotgun. Yes, that is, grab your big gulp, your bag of Doritos, and enjoy it while the computer drives. And in the really rare instance where something were to go wrong, because that's what they tell me is going to happen, most likely going to go wrong, you'll have to take over the wheel and actually stop the vehicle. So imagine that. You're enjoying your big gulp across the flyover states like I live in, and you're having a bag of Doritos, you got a lot of stuff across your fingers like Doritos do, and all of a sudden you have to take over for the truck immediately and rectify the situation because the computer loses it. Yeah, that sounds like a great time to me. And frankly, why would you want to do that? Like, insurance companies aren't all going to say, well, hey, let's let the truck drive itself. It's safer that way. No, they're going to want a driver in a truck. You're not going to save jobs. You're not going to change the world. All you're going to do is just increase the amount of technology in trucks, increase the amount of times we end up washing these trucks, and the amount of times you'll be paying for the consumers, and make trucks more expensive. So if it's me, hell, I'm going on the stock market. I'm investing in companies that have car washes and companies that do windshield wiper fluid, because we're going to sell a lot of that stuff, and that business is going to be booming in the next 10 years. And why do we call it windshield wiper fluid anyways? We're using it in different places. You know, I digress. So that's my thoughts on semi-autonomous and the cost to the consumers. I think it's a load of bull, and clearly I think it's a load of bull. Now, you can go to the website. Jill's got a really good counterpoint, and she kind of puts me into place. But I'm going to tell you, from this old cranky ass here in this flyover state, not a fan, not seeing it happening, and I'm just not that overwhelmed by this new technology. There's my rant. Hope you enjoyed it. If not, well, mum's the word on that. Thanks, guys. I'll see you down the road.